up, guys? Abstract Tiger Productions here. I'm Chris.
I'm Drew.
And we are back with another Jaiden Animations. This time, we're doing the Animal Crossing Used to Be So Much Darker. I have never played any of the Animal Crossing games. I am aware of them, mostly because of New Leaf, the one for the Switch, which came out in 2020, the beginning of 2020, and then things happened. I vaguely hear that there's like one for the DS or 3DS or something like that, but I really knew nothing. But apparently there's some differences based on this from the original or so.
Yeah, I have no experience with Animal Crossing. I've watched people play it online. I've never had any hands-on experience, and again, I didn't even know it was a thing. I hear Animal Crossing and I think of Frogger.
Yeah. So. Now, I have watched this video before. Drew has not. But we're doing some catch up on some of the other stuff. But Jaiden Animations, she does a good job. Also, go and watch her video, which will be in the link in the description below. So go watch her video at least a couple of times before you watch ours, because we'll give her the view. She's worked hard on it, and whatnot. But let's see why it used to be so much darker.
Yeah, right.
Play.
Animal Crossing. The game that's keeping most of the population sane while 2020 burns outside our windows. Like many fans of the franchise, I have a very special place in my heart for Animal Crossing. See? I put it right there. Growing up, I loved video games, but I didn't have very many friends. Sad. And within those few friends, most of them weren't super into video games. Sad. So I grew up playing games either alone or with my brother. Sad. What I'm getting at is, I'm not used to being able to connect with people over video games, let alone get to experience them with my friends together. But the one game that my few friends did play was Animal Crossing Wild World on the DS. I remember playing Animal Crossing for hours, days, sometimes mostly weeks in a row during summer vacation with my best friend Kate. It was always the highlight of our summer, and depending on your point of view, that may or may not be depressing. My family also used to have a tradition to visit the rest of my family in Canada every July, so my brother and I would continue to play Animal Crossing with our cousins. Nothing could stop us. Not even the great borders of the United States of America. We had this game we made up where we all meet up at one person's town, dig a bunch of holes in the shape of a maze, and then one of us would chase the others around with a bunny hood, gas mask, and axe, like some sort of morbid tag. We called it the Bunny Game, which looking back was a bit misleading in the innocence of the actual premise. When Animal Crossing New Leaf was released, Kate and I got our hands on it the day of our high school sophomore prom, and we very much wanted to ditch it entirely just for the game. It's not like we had dates or anything, but we ended up going anyway, and it was lame. All in all, I love Animal Crossing. I get that it's not a game for everyone because of its slow pace and open-ended nature, but it was one of the few games I got to experience with friends on a really deep level and collected a bunch of fond memories with. Now we have New Horizons, the game that parted the clouds and descended upon us when the world needed it most. I like the game a lot. I've got my gripes, which I'll get to at some point, but while playing the game, I started thinking about the original, Animal Crossing for the GameCube. I had a GameCube growing up, but my mom didn't buy Animal Crossing for us, so that meant I had no idea it existed. That's just how the world worked for me back as a kid. If my mom didn't buy it for me, then it didn't exist. So now, as an adult, I've started to make the connection that not only do I have my own money to buy my own video games, but I can do whatever I want, mostly. And using that newfound power, I've decided to go back to the basics and experience firsthand the beginning of one of my favorite game franchises. What's changed? What secrets have been hiding from me? Well, I guess we're about to find out together. The classic train scene. Rover walks over and asks if he can sit with me, promising not to fall asleep and drool on my shirt, to which I reply, "No way!" Wow, it's nice to know there's still plenty of rude people in the world. And he sits there anyway. So you go through the typical beginning of an Animal Crossing game. Who are you? I'm Jaiden. Where are you going? Mustard. What's your credit card number and mother's maiden name? September 27th. My friend has a house for you because you're stupid. Okay. You arrive in town, meet Tom Nook, and he offers to let you check out the vacant houses he's got. Let's see. We've got medieval torture dungeon, haunted backyard garden shed, Chinese sweatshop locker room, and 15th century empty pool. Yeah, I'll take a locker room, please. After settling on a place, Tom Nook asks for the payment of 19,800 bells, to which I realize I have nothing, so I'm like, no. And he's like, you better freaking give me the money. So I'm like, here, to which he realizes I barely have even 0.05% of what he wants from me, and he straight up laughs in my face. You only have 1,000 bells? You're joking with me, right? Why, you're so short, I can't help but laugh. So he puts me to work at his shop to earn the rest of the money. You get various tasks to complete for Nook, be it planting nice flowers around his shop to make it look nice. I planted them around my house. Meeting the other villagers, making deliveries. Bro, when I delivered this Sue chick her, signed copy of the Notebook on Blu-ray or whatever junk she ordered, she completely just destroyed me out of nowhere. Boy, that's mine. Why do you have it, Jaiden? Are you working for Tom Nook or something? Oh, you are? How amusing. You mean to tell me you didn't have enough money to buy a house when you moved? Well, how silly. Were you the mental run to the litter or what? Oh, I'm just having a little fun with you. I suppose everyone has to take a bold step once in their lives. So, you must not have any money to buy furniture. Don't be ashamed. Here, take this blue wardrobe. You simply must take it. I bet you go home to a sad little empty house every day, don't you? It may not be much, but beggars can't be choosers. That's when I realized how absolutely brutal this game had the capability of being. I heard that it could be sassy at some points, but I was straight up murdered by this gothic drag queen pig just for being a delivery boy. You can't say that to the, Amazon Prime delivery guys. What the heck? That's how you get your stuff smashed. So you know what I did? I sent the biggest guy in town, Rocco, a letter and used my smooth talking skills to try and send him a signal and take care of her. And just in case that didn't work out, I made a community bulletin board post to warn the others. After you finish being a corporate wage slave, the game finally becomes the Animal Crossing experience I'm used to. Catching bugs, finding fossils, waiting an entire week for Tom Nook to finally sell a stupid fishing rod. I'll admit, coming from New Horizons, the original Animal Crossing doesn't have much to offer. Maybe it held up better in the past, or I was able to have more fun with it because I was younger and easier to be entertained, but I found myself strapped on things to do. Sure, I could fish for 2 hours straight to make money, but I could also just play another game. Why I think New Horizons is the best game in the series so far, big asterisk on the so far, is that it saw where players were taking the franchise and ran with it far beyond what we could have hoped for. Oh, people really enjoy being able to customize their house and are using the little pattern spaces to make cool paths for their town? Well then let's give them a bigger town, and more pattern spaces, and hundreds of new and modernized furniture items, and let them put them outside wherever and however they want, and let's let them shape the earth and sea. I've put hundreds of hours into it already, and I'm not nearly done with the game. My island still looks like crap. I played the original Animal Crossing for a week or two, and could only put at max an hour into it per day, because I ran out of things I wanted to do. Oh, so New Horizons is the most superior game in every possible way, right? Ha ha ha, no. While New Horizons has much more for you to do, the thing I think the original Animal Crossing got right that the new one doesn't is the villagers. Since I would get bored of continuously failing at fishing in the GameCube version, I found myself talking to the villagers much more often, and that's where I had the most enjoyment. The conversations with the villagers in the GameCube version have so much flavor. Sure, Sue E called me a mental run to the litter just a minute ago, but that brought out something in me that New Horizons hasn't been able to do within 300 hours of me playing. Talking to the villagers in the GameCube version made me remember why I liked the game so much as a kid. They say and do interesting things. I don't know if it's just me, but New Horizons has some of the blandest text I've seen in Animal Crossing yet. It feels like what they say is limited to 5 things, and I honestly don't enjoy talking to them and haven't built a single connection to any of them on my island. I don't care who moves in, just so long as they're really super hot. I'm talking hunkalicious. Feels like it's been raining all the time lately. I hate getting wet. Jaiden, you feel the same, right? No, actually, I don't really mind. Oh, really? Well, why don't you just stay in the rain then, since you love it so much? And I hope you catch a cold. I don't know what it is about me, but I seem to be just as popular with boys and girls. It's madness. Meanwhile, in New Horizons... Hi, Jaiden. Sometimes I like to sit. No, I don't want any. I'm telling you for the last time, you foul creature. Go away, hippie. Oh, wait, it's just you. I thought it was another one of those weirdos handing out tissues. Hi, Jaiden. I've been having a good day. All right, see you later. Shrivel up and blow away, shrimp. At one point, I walked up to Sue-E, and she just started screaming. I'm begging you, would someone please change that hideous town tune? Jaiden, I highly doubt you have a talented bone in your body, but you do seem to be able to run fast. So be a dear and go change that horrible music, would you? So of course, I changed the town tune. Anything for Sue-E, her wish is my command. I'll say normally I'm not a big town tune changer in the games, but this one made me laugh. Is that better, Sue-E? You like that? I wasn't expecting to have an arch nemesis in Animal Crossing again, because it hasn't happened to me since Wild World, but Sue-E really just came into my life and slapped me around, begging me to hate her. Say, didn't you owe Tom Nook a fairly large sum of money? I was just wondering, did you ever manage to pay him back? Well, what's it to ya? Wow, you seem a little touchy, Jaiden. I guess you're still just a burden to society. But that's what Nintendo got wrong in the new games. I want drama. I want enemies and bloodshed. The animals in New Horizons feel like just objects for me to judge on appearances and get items from. All in all, I very much like Animal Crossing. I know New Horizons isn't for everyone and is far from perfect, but I'm a big fan of the type of game it is, and the cons don't outweigh the pros for me. Do I wish the villagers had a shred of life to them? Yes. Do I hate the new music they wrote for it and desperately want to have the old music back? Yes. But I can put my Godzilla statues together like they're on a date. Is the old Animal Crossing lacking in objectives and even slower than I could have imagined? Yes. But at least I get verbally abused by my neighbors and can hit Sue-E with my net.
What?
So if you haven't heard... Oh god, Ari. So if you haven't heard, James just announced his new game, Cafe Chaos. It's a turn-based card game where you build...
Wow. Your reaction is pretty much what my reaction was whenever I first watched this. I did not realize the game was that brutal back in the day. I could not get away with some of that stuff now.
I'm pretty sure I was in a perpetual.
You'll
see it when you do the editing. I'm like, how did this survive development, marketing, distribution, sales, to the point that people came back and were like, we want more. How? Who at Nintendo was like, you know what? I think this game will do well. You're gonna get a raise. Good job, everybody. Great job, team.
And it did, apparently. So there's like more of them. I mean,
okay. So there's been Animal Crossing Wild World for the DS, and then
there was New Leaf, and then there was
New Horizons.
New Horizons. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's any more.
I hope
people
not.
let us know in the comments. But
I don't think I'll play anytime soon.
Yeah.
But I probably will look for some more outside of Jaiden Animations playthroughs, walkthroughs, play-alongs. I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's plays of that.
Yeah. Maybe since she said that, other people will go back and make content for it. I don't know how old this video is, but that's wow.
Yeah. This came out in 2021, August.
It is August of 2021.
2020, sorry.
Okay. I was like, August what?
Yeah.
He's like, this video came out yesterday. Wait, what about the Amazing Island?
Oh, man.
My brain is melting right now. Good sir.
Yeah. I guess back in the day, they just,
Didn't
Nintendo had a little bit more freedom to do
Where
what.
was all this trash talking Zelda and like Mario?
Well, we have silent protagonists in both of those to a certain extent.
Hey, he says, "Hey."
No, that's Navi. Hey, listen.
No, I'm talking about when he's like, "Hey, hey."
That's what that does.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Navi says, "Hey, listen," and then Majora's Mask. That's a whole nother.
Yeah, geez,
You do not want my opinions on Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is why Zelda stopped. Never mind.
Oh wow, yeah. A lot of people like Majora's Mask over
I don't.
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time was voted the two best Nintendo 64 games that came out when Nintendo 64 was a thing. Were 007 GoldenEye. It's the best first-person shooter.
The only one, sort of.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Legends of Zelda, Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Which I can play that game over and over and over and over.
I played that, beat it a couple times. Majora's Mask, or not Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time.
I love Ocarina.
I tried Majora's Mask, but I find the time looping business very difficult to do stuff in it. I might be, if I had like a walkthrough or something like that, I could probably sit down and actually do it. I don't even know if I got to the first dungeon at all in that, because I just wandered around the town for a while until the moon decided, okay, crash into the planet. Oh, time reversed back again. Yeah. All right, I'm back at the start. Anything I did, I can't get to because it's locked now, because I have to go and unlock things I got to, and it's just like, I'm tired. I just put it down and walked away.
The first time I turned into a Goron, I was like, and this is when Zelda got weird.
Yeah, you had the happy mask salesman guy who
Yeah.
sold you all the masks and stuff like that.
Yeah. I really liked the whole the different in Ocarina of Time. Somehow this turned into a Zelda conversation. I'm perfectly okay with that.
Still Nintendo.
Yes.
As we validate other conversations in our Star Wars things, it's still Star Wars.
And then we get off on other tangents like it's
Yes.
still Disney.
Still Disney.
But so the different colored tunics gave you different abilities in Legends of Zelda.
Yes.
Or in Ocarina of Time, I mean.
Yes, it did.
But the mask thing is just weird because it actually changes your body into that creature.
Yes.
I did not get far enough to know if there was. In comments, please let me know. The only mask that I would have worn and actually enjoyed was if they made a Skulltula. I love the Skulltula.
Skulltulas. Yeah. Basically, yeah.
I
the giants.
love Skulltulas. That is my favorite character. I don't like the bouncing rainbow spiders. They were the ones that attacked you as you were trying to go up the Goron Mountain from the city. Anyways, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Is this in Majora's Mask, or
it's in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask?
Oh,
but
okay. The
it's
ones
the
that
jumping
has
rainbow
the gigantic
spiders.
single eye on it and 4 legs.
Yeah, and they go boing,
Yes,
boing,
okay.
boing,
Yeah,
and
I
then
know
they
what you're
jump on
talking
you.
about.
Yeah, I never liked those. I don't want to be those, but if they had a Skulltula, those are cool. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing it right. It's this is me.
Skulltula, it just depends.
I think tarantula, Skulltula.
Yeah.
That's how I've always said it. And that's another super sentimental thing. Like the last time we watched the Jaiden animation, I talked about my Aunt Betty. My mom would play Zelda with me. She wouldn't actually play, but she would like sit behind me, and she would, even though Navi has its own, hey, listen, she would actually make voices and read. And I could read perfectly fine, but I was good waiting to hit that A button so mom could finish a sentence. It was very sentimental for me.
Yeah. I never had that.
I'm sorry.
It was pretty much... Yeah, at the time, whenever I was gaming was still frowned upon, and it was not a serious thing. It was more of a leisure thing, very, very leisurely. And especially in the household that I came from, gaming like that was not a viable career. It was viewed as just strictly leisure or whatever, and you could not make money out of it. So was not encouraged for that.
So with that being the case, what was your opinion, and still technically Nintendo, what was your opinion when the Wizard came out?
The movie?
Yeah. The one about the kid and the video game tournament?
I know what it was. I know. Yeah. I remember the movie. I've only seen it once.
Because that was my justification, that video game players can make money. And then now you have multi-million-dollar contracts.
I mean, at the time, whenever I watched it, I don't think I really had any sort of like epiphany or anything like that. Oh, you can make money off of this sort of thing. It was just like a movie.
Oh, okay.
It's a movie. It's a fantasy. It's whatever.
So you didn't want the Nintendo Power Glove?
No.
I wanted one so bad, and I didn't.
I mean,
have
granted,
an
that's
SNES.
not to say that I didn't want it or whatever. It wasn't like, oh, that was cool, but looking back, the motion control in that was horrible.
Oh yeah,
and there was only like one game that it actually worked with, so it wasn't really justified to getting.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Granted, that was the original NES.
Yeah.
For that, and it was very. I wouldn't say limited in what it could do, but it wasn't limited to a certain extent. I think there may have been like 2 games that the phaser that it came with, the light gun, only worked with. One was Duck Hunt, and I'm sure there's another one out there.
I wonder what it was like doing the Konami code with your Power Glove.
I mean, the controller was here, so you still had to push the buttons here. All it had was the IR sensor on the top of the glove.
I thought it had buttons on the thumb as well.
I don't know about that. I know that there was a pad up here that had the button, the actual like leather controller on it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that had.
Well, still technically Nintendo.
Yeah, still technically Nintendo. I don't know. I've seen people, like you said, play, Animal Crossings and stuff, and they just get absorbed into it. But I think the closest thing that I could relate to that is probably Stardew Valley.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a kind of a farm simulator type of thing, sort of like this, but you're not like working for a mob boss. Which basically, that's kind of what a lot of people equate the Tom Nook guy character as. Yeah, the raccoon as a bit of a mob boss.
I never got that vibe. He just always looks sleepy. He's like,
yeah, well,
you woke me up. I haven't had coffee yet. Get out.
From what I have heard of the people who have played, like in the new one especially. Anytime you're about to like pay off like your new house to him, he comes up and is like, "Hey, here's a new one. I want you to buy." So he keeps you in perpetual debt to him. That's why I'm saying we're equating him to mob boss.
So there's a game I'm playing right now that's very similar. That's called The Outer Worlds. You can never pay off your debt because they keep offering you more and more stuff.
Yes. But in Stardew Valley, you basically inherit a farm from your grandpa. And you're sent to basically revive it and do whatever, and then you're given a choice in the community that the farm is at, whether to basically promote big business. Basically, they have something equated to like Walmart, or whatever in the town is taking up all the local business, or you can do the route where you restore the community center and bring back all the local business and basically drive out the big business guy.
Okay.
And
so small business versus capitalism.
Kind of, sort of, not capitalism, but it's somewhat.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
you know, ironically, when you start the game, you're working for the big business and just like a dead-end cubicle job.
Interesting.
Yeah. You just have to sit and play it. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I mean,
What's it on?
Almost everything. You can play it
Okay.
on Steam. You can play it on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I
I have a PlayStation 4.
Maybe. I think they have. I don't know. I don't have a freaking keyboard over here. But
I was wondering when you were going to get to that.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's
you
like,
just have a way to look it up?
no, I don't. But
Insert invisible keyboard here.
yes, well, maybe it might. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you could probably. I mean, obviously on this Switch you can play it through the controller.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there's like a version on the PS. Somebody in the comments will let, or you can just do whatever. But I think there's like a Xbox version or something like that. I know, like I said, there's it's on Steam and it's on the Switch, but I mean it's got that 16-bit graphics like the N64 or like the Super NES.
Yeah.
But the gameplay is pretty tight and stuff like that. So I mean it's a lot of fun. You can you go mine and stuff like that, so you don't just farm all the time.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. So. Anyways, I don't really have much else about this or anything else. Other than this was probably one of the more shocking, funnier videos that she has because of
That was
the content of the game that she's referring to.
that was just a lot. Yeah. So it was very self-contained.
Yeah. Very self-contained. Most of these are.
I'm gonna keep that going. I like that. That's funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, up until next time, we'll be sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell, and so you don't miss any episodes. Check out our Patreon, and also make sure I'll put the link. Also, as a reminder, there will be a link to Jaiden's video here, so go and watch that. Give her the views and stuff like that. And whatnot. So until next time, bye bye and be blessed.